I decided to quit my job. I release the bounds of society. I feel free, but I know it's fleeting. I have surfaced from being submerged to take my first breath in a long time, to be my own for the first in a long time. I walk home feeling like a new person completely, noticing details I didn't before. I can feel the weight of the burden of everyday living, lifting off of me. My steps become one by the next to my relief, towards my salvation, like a shipwrecked survivor washing onto a beach, drifting from the monsters of the deep to something stable. I didn't know the full distress I was in. People ask, what am I doing? You need a job. You need money. What are you gonna do? As if money was a critical merit of morality. As if money is the most defining factor in life. People have been paid for great atrocities, and they were technically employed. Money isn't a basis of anything but that you have. And in this wasteland, you have so you are. And when you aren't, you can't. Most people today don't get paid for doing anything bad, don't get paid for doing anything good. They just get paid for nothing, doing something as nothing as possible. Leave somebody stranded, desolate, and they will know the needs, the bloodshed of survival. The destructive force to construct is the first currency. But in today's world, you can never get that far out. Being that hungry doesn't exist in the modern era. You'd be arrested in the city for hunting pigeons and starting a fire in the business district. Still, there is a radiating truth that you need to work with nature to survive. But now that's somebody else's job, and then it's somebody else's job, and even then, it's a robot's job. 6 degrees of separation to feel the grass. You know someone who knows someone who knows someone who took a workshop retreat on how to go outside again. Life has been spinning just again to be spun. There isn't the same motivation, but there is even greater distress, machine luxury. Simple pleasures are so distant. I'm not saying anything should change, I'm just an observer. For good or bad, money moves. I'll say it again. For good or bad, money moves. And now I am independent of its motion, free to be my own. I now pursue dreams, passions, and I will sell the love I've created, the crop I have cultivated. I can finally pursue my passion, the one thing I was always thinking about at work, strategizing, day in, day out, clock watching, just waiting for the end of the day so that I could pursue my dreams, my desires, spending my time and money to pursue what truly makes me happy. I've now decided to make it my career. I've unhooked from the maze completely. Now I have my life and the love that kept me going for all those days stuck in a box. My dream is simple but complex. They say a master has put in a minimum of 10,000 hours. Well, man, I guess you could say I've become a master of sorts. A master of making the perfect mixed drink. I've tried everything. Sodas, juice, different spirits, sports drinks, over and over again, every day after work, to no avail. I could never get it right. And once I exhausted another unsuccessful night, it was back to work, back to the office, back to the grind. But I knew that it was only a matter of time. By numbers I couldn't fail. The house always wins, and I got all the chips I'll ever need. The first week was rough. After leaving my job, night after night, trial and error, over and over, to make the perfect mixed drink, but it wasn't working. You know, it was close. I'm not gonna waste a pretty good attempt, but I could still never get it. I could still never get in the same flow state as whenever I was working, as if the boredom inspired creative thought. But as time passed, I got better, until one night I was a mad scientist in my laboratory. Everyone likes a rum and coke, rum and soda, a Jack and Coke. Why do we need innovation? Why do we need to reinvent the wheel? Then it hit me. Turn the 2 ingredients into 3. Make it stronger. Jack and Coke and the free bird I've become. My spirit animal. Wild turkey. Cheers to the returnants of nature. The Turkey Daniels. Yeah. Hey, how are you tonight? My name is Funk. I hope you like my real quick aside. Let's get into this. For a long time, man, I was struggling with the weed problem. I could never afford as much weed as I could smoke. It hasn't gotten better yet. Hopefully, I'm on the road to recovery. True stories. Yep. For my life, I don't know how to make the monies. Apparently, though, I am the monies. I'm a log, a slow burning log in the corporate fire. When I spend the time in the fire, I make the monies. If I walk around the factory with a clipboard pretending to work, writing down my ideas, you make the money. If you walk around the sidewalk with a clipboard pretending to work, writing down your ideas, you don't make the money. What do you mean? Says who? Says when? I wonder what we're supposed to juice, be batteries for. Like you're given a full tank of gas and you can go wherever, Hold on, what? Sometimes, man, I don't understand how everyone seems to know the rhythm, seems to know what to do. So I look to nature for the answers. Where are you flying to? How do you know where to go? To a crane, to a bird with a long neck. My message today, looking for the birds with the long necks. Women are just playing this weird game of spitball with men's bodies. Hurling men at the next generation of women, slimeballing men through time and space. And I'm sick of it. Playing a game of catch, licking the DNA, spitting in the dough, and throwing it to some other woman. And then this baby is your problem now, little babies. But I love it. Yeah, that's too much. What does that even mean? You know what that means. There's not really a follow-up to that. I just wanted to say it. It's not what I think. I just thought it. There's a difference. Things are caught. Figure out what words you're about to say before you say it, boy. Just try to, strategize. Alright, things is kind of wild these days. Everything feels like the news. Many people have something to say. We were talking about the experience while experiencing. Now we're talking about the experience and experiencing talking. It goes on and on, I think the value of something being its own is hard to find. Now there's like ads too, right? Like this person interrupts themselves to do their own ad. I'm sure there are subtle ways to do this, but it's like bing, bang, bong, bam, right there. I don't know, man. I'm just the observer. Everything feels like a talk show, though. But first, an ad from today's sponsor. We are excited. We are enthralled. We are so thrilled. We've partnered with a special company providing a fully immersed, interactive experience for users. Have you ever felt like, this indoor environment is so stuffy? Like I like the indoors when the weather is in its feelings, but today just feels more different. There is more light. There is more joy. Do you ever feel like I should be somewhere else? That these walls cannot contain you, but you just don't know a way of translating these feelings into action? Well, that is where today's sponsor of Going Outside comes into play. Going Outside is an interactive, choose-your-own-adventure platform where relatively anything is possible. Try Going Outside today. Free version experiences may vary. Cost is dependent on the adventure you choose. Try Going Outside today or tomorrow. It'll be there. Warning, the weather may vary. You may have to put on a jacket or maybe a sweater. The outdoors is the in-between into other indoors. There may be better places to be, Alright. No, ads are okay. And also, no ads are okay. But if you walked into a convenience store and they didn't have up ads, it would feel a little strange. Like I know what they got already, but it's nice to be reassured. That's so dumb. Alright. My brain isn't as dumb as my tongue, but my brain is guilty by association. If I am ugly, who do I blame it on? current pollution, or ancestors that were too sedentary, past famine, some other natural cause, a stressor on my mother while she was pregnant, maybe a loud neighbor, or living too close to the road. Blame society and its norms, the culture of the world. Does it start with the individual or the ancestors? Is there only forward momentum? The individual can sway to good standing with what they're given? How do we create someone truly healthy? What does that even mean? At what point is there an oversaturation that we have made it? Health overly apparent. And what do we do then? No, you're ugly, bro. You gotta keep some things sacred, man. Some things to yourself. Some things work better inside of you. It isn't really an omission, but some things, your roots, man, your organs, your experiences, you can't broadcast so loudly, can't be exposed so easily. It's not something that can be co-signed by a listener or an audience. It's a ship for one, where you sailed. Some people would try to sail and they would be stuck in the mud. How stressing that would be. Some people would sail off a waterfall thinking they were on the same path as you. Then some people would sail and say the weather wasn't as clear as whenever you sailed. And you may be blamed just for bragging. Just for mentioning. Then why even talk about sailing? What did you bring back? Exotic. I couldn't think of a joke for right here, and something needs to be here, but I don't know what. So I'm saying these words. Alright. It feels good when you are walking around, to and fro. You can just say anything. Talk some nonsense. I see why people do it. It feels good to just shout things as a pedestrian. Helps your morale. I'll just be walking around. I'm not a pizza boy, I'm a pizza man. And that's the problem with the world today. I told them I'm a pizza man, I ain't no pizza boy. They see me like I'm delivering pie on a tricycle, having tassels blowing in the sweet night air. Yeah, right. Only to get to the front door. Knock, knock, knocking, a knock, knock, knocking, ring the bell. Only to hear, pizza boy is here. I ain't a pizza boy, I'm a pizza man. They see me as a pizza boy, but I tell them I'm a pizza man. Tell me I'm a pizza boy when they know damn well I'm a pizza man. And you can just repeat or riff off that for the whole way home. And it's really quite a lovely way to pass the time. Sir, how many mashed potatoes have you had this evening? None. This is unbelievable. I'm unbelieving. Sir, how many mashed potatoes have you had this evening? F***ing enough. I don't understand when people say, if I win the lottery, I would XYZ. All these things. If I win the lottery, man, I would buy you a vacation and a house where you could paint or make music. If I win the lottery, man, I would invest in your dreams. It's good, right? It sounds nice, hypothetically. But that's like saying, if I had a bunch of imaginary money, I would support your imagination. Oh yeah, your imagination is so valuable. And if I had a lot of imaginary money, I'd give it to you imaginarily. Thank you. You are too kind, but really it's okay. I do not fret because I am imaginarily rich. I shop at imaginary stores. I have an imaginary house. Drive an imaginary car. Actually, I am imaginarily independently wealthy, But I couldn't possibly turn down such a generous offer. When am I going to receive all this imaginary money? I don't know the right word. Tentatively sounds right. When is this tentatively gonna take place? When is this tentatively gonna happen? To Berdernen? I beg your pardon? To be determined? Oh yes, well, it may happen later. Later? Don't do it. Later? Oh no. Later I'll be a pirate sailing the seven seas, making up new slang later. This deck is sullied. Sully the deck. Later I'll be mowing the lawn, fully focused on the objective, giving it a good 110, getting complimented on the trim, boy. Later I'll cultivate a trio with a polar bear playing it deep, an absolute clock keeping time. Alright, and when we make it imaginarily from putting all the imaginary work I've been putting in all those years, don't call it luck, call it very lucky. And don't try to get on board when we're all imaginarily rock stars. I haven't even understood myself this whole time. Buddy, what? But I will say, most things are free to do in this life, and support when there's nothing is more valuable than money, because as we learn, money isn't really an indicator of anything. Money isn't a basis for anything but that you have, and in this world you have so you are, and when you aren't you can't. What is anything anyways?
Hey Funk, oh look man, it's 11:11. Make a wish.
I wish it partially fresh and the green tea is cold.
Okay,
That we can always pick up where we left off.
okay,
That two lonely hearts can make a happy home.
okay.
That the space between is felt unseen.
Really?
That the rain can wash away the gray to make a new day. I say, today.
Hey man, I said a wish. What the f is all this stuff?
They still afloat. Hey, my name is Funk. Thank you.
I ain't a piece of boy, I'm a piece of man.